Hello, welcome to R&R, where bad media from the past needs a beating. I'm really doing something special today, because I am actually doing a little short video on a pointless Sailor Moon 3D game for the PC.
Now, to start off, Sailor Moon was actually a huge mega franchise for young girls. It was basically in the same way that Power Rangers and Dragon Ball Z was aimed towards young boys. But this was around a time where anime in the West was pretty new. And along with that, there's a lot of merchandise, ranging from toys used in the show, dolls, playsets, and even manga released for a slightly older crowd. But among them was this abomination. Now, there were many video games related to Sailor Moon that came out, but this one that I'm reviewing right now was the only one that came to ever be released in the US. And these other cool games like Sailor Moon RPGs and those fighting games were just way too complex for us stupid Americans to understand. So we got this. The 3D Adventures of Sailor Moon. Now, with 3D, don't get too excited, there isn't really much 3D in there. Now, on the back, you'll actually see it's mostly made up of mini games and encyclopedia, including a magic puzzle room, a galactic moon library, 3D fashion salon and fitting room, Moon Castle TV show, which only has like 10 clips from a few episodes. Don't really get too excited around here. And a castle fighting arena, which is mainly just a generic shooter where you just shoot things with your crescent moon wand from the show.
Now, however, this is gonna be very quick because this game was mostly made for a 15-year-old operating system, which my computer actually had trouble running. And so, in order to get the game to work properly, I had to install patches. And even with the patches, it crashed all the time to where I can no longer get a decent amount of footage. And so, to make it longer, I've actually got even more gameplay footage from the internet from idiots who are stupid enough to play this game. I mean, you're bound to find some other video sources from, because probably people who basically recorded from older operating systems where the game would not crash.
Now, as you start the game up, you can watch this really cool intro scene, along with that actually has background music from the show's opening theme song. And the game actually looks very good for the time, especially with the first generation 3D graphics. I mean, it's called Sailor Moon 3D. I mean, at least it's not like that horrible 3DO fighting game intro from Japan. This actually looks very good. But unfortunately, that's where the good ends. And no, they don't really appear anything close to like that throughout the rest of the game. I mean, even the voice acting is just terrible, lazy.
Your mission is to uncover the Sailor Scout's hidden transformational items as you explore the various play areas.
Magical wand to destroy all the targets. Can you score over 1 million points?
Check out the top secret files of Sailor Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Sailor Moon.
Now, before I go into this, I don't want to basically make people get all upset like, oh, you're ranting on a computer game for young girls, that's geared towards kids, of course it's going to be like that, yada yada yada. But most of this stuff is actually just really not worth it for like the $50 that parents had to spend for their kid at the time. I mean, they should have added a whole lot more cool stuff to excite fans of the show. Now, first, let's start out with this shooting game where you get to shoot stuff with your Moon Scepter wand. It's really not that hard to score high points. It's technically a no-brainer. I mean, the targets are just so easy to catch. I'm like, what the hell are those things? Are those floating eyeballs? What are those? What are they? What are they doing here? And then next up is this Rubik's Cube puzzle where you get to actually slide in pieces to match the portraits of the characters in art. Then next up is the fashion dress-up salon. And this is the only time, and I quote, the only time you actually get to see the 3D models of the characters. And all they have to do is just walk up on the runway before you dress them up. I mean, it's not that really exciting, especially for 1997 when this was exciting brand new technology, where you actually get to play around with clips and mini games based off the show. I mean, we live in the YouTube and DeviantArt generation. I mean, anyone can make the equivalent of this on their own computer. I mean, you're better off watching the show with your friends or on VHS tapes than to just play this blatant ripoff of a game. Than to be like, hey girls, you want to see this cool, amazing Sailor Moon game I got for the computer? It's a 3D graphics, has a dress-up salon puzzle game and everything. You get to have a 2D magic moon wand and shoot floating eyeballs having seizures in a red background. Or you can dress up the main characters that apparently are the equivalent of using cheaply made paper dolls that we can print out. Isn't that cool? Or, if you want to waste even more time at my house, let's watch 5-minute video clips of certain scenes from different episodes. And guess how many there is? 10! There's 10 videos on there! See, this is mainly just a miniature kiddie version of Encyclopedia combined with some games that you would normally find on PopCap nowadays. I'd probably find it even more exciting if I had the Gaga effect of a 10-year-old.
And what I'm doing this time is I'm separating my 3D Hell compilation into 2 parts. 1 is games and 2 is movies. Now the movies section is going to be very quick as it's only going to obtain 2 entries. I'm on my second last one in the games section. Now, as you might be wondering, what's going to be next in my entry? Oh my god! The PlayStation game that nearly killed it all. Bubsy 3D. Signing off right now.
Can you score over 1 million points?